Since 1854, the Age newspaper has been a crucial part of Melbourne's news and culture. But this week, nearly 2,000 workers learnt they'll lose their jobs at the Age's publisher, Fairfax. And hundreds more jobs are on the line at its chief competitor, News Limited. If you ask this third-generation newsagent about the predicted death of newspapers, he laughs.
It's certainly not in my time. People like to turn the paper over and read from here and there and get far more stuff.
But the number of people coming into Rick Richards' shop to buy the paper is getting smaller.
Oh, it's an egg shop.
The worldwide decline in newspaper sales hit home hard in Melbourne this week. Publisher of The Age, Fairfax, announced plans to sack 1,900 workers and permanently close its 2 printing facilities.
Now, when we're pretty limited, we're printers. Our trade school even shut down, so, we're going to get jobs.
Life goes on, doesn't it? Adapt and overcome.
For Fairfax management, that means turning the famous broadsheet into the size of a tabloid and focusing on digital journalism. Days later, Fairfax's arch competitor, News Limited, announced a big shake-up of its business. It says its papers, like the Herald Sun, will continue to be physically printed, but there are estimates up to 1,000 jobs could go. The Victorian State Library treats copies of The Age as precious exhibits. It has every edition dating back to 1854.
And there it is. A few changes, huh?
Newspaper veteran Malcolm Schmidtke has held senior roles at Fairfax and News Limited, including editor of the Australian newspaper and deputy editor of Melbourne's Age.
Certainly it's the last big story that I can remember where the newspaper really went out on the limb. This raised huge concerns in the community and the legal community, and it would have caused a lot of anguish for senior people at The Age.
Not everyone's loved The Age over the years. How has it been described by some?
Well, it was described, certainly in my time, as the Spencer Street Soviet. I think the journalists there were described as pinkos.
Do you think there is a danger that Melbourne would become a one-paper town?
I think that's very likely.
This week, mining billionaire Gina Rinehart increased her share of Fairfax to 19%. The federal government has urged Ms Rinehart to sign Fairfax's Charter of Independence, saying it would be a disaster if the world's richest woman was planning to interfere in editorial decisions. Malcolm Schmidtke recalls the public outcry in the early 90s when Robert Maxwell attempted to take over The Age.
Money came in buckets, basically, to help pay for advertising to fight against this possibility. When Gough Whitlam and Malcolm Fraser stood up in front of Parliament House, I think it was, or down there in front of the Treasury building, and they virtually, these 2 old foes, embraced on this issue, that was a sign of how important The Age was in this community.
Do you think that level of passion is still there today?
No, it isn't there. And I'm not sure how that happened. But, it was an intrinsic part of this community. And it isn't anymore. But maybe it can be again. Let's hope, let's hope it can.
It's certainly important to investigative reporter at The Age, Melissa Fife. She's amongst many Fairfax employees anxious about job cuts and potential editorial interference.
What the company hasn't explained to us at this point in time is how do we do the quality journalism that we're known for with such a significant cut to staff.
Are you reconsidering your future now at The Age?
I think everybody at the paper needs to have a good look at what's happening, particularly with the fact that Gina Rinehart is knocking on the door.
What would it mean for you as a journalist if she refused to sign the Charter of Independence?
It's a very important document to us. It's underpinned our journalism for many, many years. What we don't know about Gina Rinehart is her true intentions with Fairfax. She hasn't really said very, very much. She has obviously got particular views about mining, about climate change.
Would you resign if you felt that your independence as a journalist was threatened?
Yes, probably I would. I probably would. I've been committed to doing journalism, a lot of journalism around climate change, for example, and I would find it quite disturbing if, for example, I was told that we couldn't do that anymore. That would be very disturbing for me, and I'm sure for our readers.